Well, good morning. This is Ranger Dave for West Valley Rural. Once again, we're going to be talking about something you can do with your goat milk. We're going to do. My wife is mainly going to do this one. Essentially, go through. Everybody has always asked us what we do for our goat cheese and all. Now, well, you're going to find out. Okay, we got a pizza night coming up at a friend's, and well, they make it in a nice brick oven. It's really good. So we're making the cheese for that that evening coming up, and that's what we're going to be working on now. So if you ever come to one of our pizza nights, now you know where it came from. Let's get started. Okay. What are we doing today?
Yeah, well, the director forgot to hit play or record, whatever. So take two. All right. This is basic farmer cheese that I'm making. So a gallon of milk went in this pot. Sat here with a thermometer. That's the boring part. For about 15 to 20 minutes. It has to come up to 185, 187 degrees. The vinegar then is the acid that will pull out the curds from the milk, from the fat and everything in there. You can use any kind of an acid. There's recipes to make this with lemon juice. I'm not sure the amount. The lemons are not always consistent in their acidity. Most vinegars, the commercial vinegars, are like 4% acidity, something like that. So the commercial vinegars are more consistent with what their acid level is. You can use any kind of a vinegar. A white vinegar has less of a vinegary taste. Apple cider vinegar, I think you can taste a little bit of a light note in there with the use of that. Bragg apple cider vinegar is more of the living vinegar with the mother that's in it. So, but any kind of vinegar. Once this reaches 187 degrees, I have a simple slotted spoon in here. You're going to find with cheese making, this is a soft cheese. It's not a hard cheese. It's not a fermented cheese. This is ready to eat as soon as I make it. It's yummy. But it doesn't have to sit around to make the cheese curd harden or anything. So like we haven't done mozzarella or any other kind of cheese like that yet because they're a little more finicky. You have to use more cultures. This is just simple cheese, vinegar, you've got cheese. But once you pour the vinegar in there, you get like small, tiny curds. Initially, you'll get like small little flakes of curds. That's how you know you have enough vinegar in there, is that it starts to pull that out. But then you let it sit. And once you let it sit, the curds start clumping together and you get these huge curds, okay? I've kind of broken that up a little bit, but when you first come in here, there's a huge curd layer just sitting on the top of this. So we're going to move over to the sink and I'll show you how to do this portion. You need a fine mesh strainer. You can, like typically I have saved this whey to again use for ferment for the chickens. Today I just need this for an event we're doing this weekend. So I really don't care about the whey. But it's easier.
Would you say the whey would be in your way?
Yes, it is in my way. And the pan's still kind of hot, so I'm trying to not burn myself while I do this. But if you use the slotted spoon to pull out those cheese curds, you can kind of dump them to the side of your strainer, and you won't have to sit here and let it strain all day. At the end, I'll show you, I kind of pour that to the side, but you scoop all of these curds off onto a side there, and you can see that whey's already coming out of that. But if you don't, like if I just poured this through and then sat and, you'd have to stir it for quite a bit for it to harden up. I don't want to take that time today because I got other stuff I got to do. So if you put it to the side, that whey comes out and this will get harder quicker. The more whey you leave in it, the more, the softer it's going to be. It won't firm up as much. Okay, so you can see
the whey is definitely in the way.
Yes, it is, and you want that whey to come out of it. And I I just kind of pour it to the side. And
but
that whey is very nutritious. And you can actually keep that whey and cook it and cook it.
Did you make a dip or something with that whey?
And it makes this ye toast or something like that. It's like a Danish or Norwegian version of cheese.
You made that a while back. That was pretty good stuff.
It's really good. It's like your natural and better for you, much more nutritious than like your cheese dip kind of things or Velveeta kind of thing. That you toast is really good. I'll do that again and then we'll film that. But then you want to pull out all of those curds. Okay. Alright, so you want this to just be kind of knocked around in here. Just again, as I'm pressing out the whey on the side. And I'm firming up that cheese. So from this point, I'm going to let it sit still for a couple of minutes just to kind of get a little bit more of that whey out of here. But I want this, once I put it in the fridge, to be kind of a harder, like a sliceable. I want it to be sliceable. So people can use these pieces on their pizza this weekend. So
there's going to be pizza cheese.
Yeah. So it's not like a melty cheese or anything, but it has a nice flavor once I put all the salt and stuff in it. So I'm going to let that sit just to get that last little bit of whey out of there, and then I'm going to add all kinds of yummy seasonings to it.
Okay.
But you can see how all of that, it kind of comes off on itself with that slotted spoon. But it's still dripping out a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave it sit for about 5-10 minutes just for that final drip through. Get all of that. But by pulling that curds and stuff to the side, you way cut the time to make this stuff. So leave it set for a few minutes and I'll come back and add seasonings. Okay. So I just put in a little bit of the herbes de Provence. You can see that this is more of like a crumbly, like a feta type looking cheese. And you can serve it just like that. But you can also like compress it into the little container and kind of form a block to it. And when it gets cold, it's sliceable. Herbes de Provence is just a typical cheese or typical spice that you'll see added to cheese. I always break it up because those, like you can see the large bits of rosemary. I don't like that texture when I'm eating, so I kind of crunch it up a bit. But what this also does, if you're crunching your spices, and you can do this like with Italian seasoning, any other kind of seasoning. If you crunch it in your hands, you kind of warm the hand a little bit against the spice, and it also makes it a little bit more flavorful when you're cooking it. So nice. It's just a nicer flavor.
So what was that one?
I'm not going to tell you all the spices and stuff that goes in here, but I do generally like that paprika flavor. Again, this is going to be a pizza topping. So I'm adding some pizza seasoning, which is probably just like Italian seasoning with some red tomato flakes in there. But anyway, I like that flavor. It has the fennel, maybe some anise in there. Fennel for sure. But it's a nice like pizza flavoring. I add both the smoked salt. Like we get an Applewood smoked salt from Frontier. And I add both the smoked as well as regular Himalayan salt. Again, because I like that smoky flavor, but I don't want it so heavy to use all that salt. That's just allspice. I pretty much put allspice in everything we eat because I just like the flavor. It's a nice flavor. That's just a garlic herb seasoning from Frontier. I really like that. I'll actually measure. I put about a tablespoon of salt in there and half a tablespoon of lemon pepper. Lemon pepper, typically it is produced with like a lemon peel, a ground up lemon peel with the lemon pepper, and it gives it a natural citric acid. The commercial citric acids are made with corn, actually. So a lot of people can't eat citric acid. But lemon peel and pepper generally is what they make for a lemon pepper seasoning. And that is a natural citric acid that most people are okay with. When it comes actually from the lemons, it's okay. Corn-based citric acid, not good. So that's why when you see citric acid on stuff, you don't know the source and you don't want to eat it. But you can see how that just makes it a nice presentation with all those different spices in there.
Smells
now,
good.
If you use anything, there's one that there we go. No, I don't know. Somewhere I just saw one. Those tomato flakes. There we go. That will kind of dissolve a little bit against your the water that's still in the cheese. And it may make like a little dark spot on the cheese. Cheese is perfectly fine. It's just that tomato flake that's kind of breaking down, and I'll have like a dark spot on the cheese. Cheese is fine. It's just the tomato that's in there. All right, move that way. Oh, let me get my scale. Hold on. I like to just kind of know how much cheese I'm making. So this container will hold 16 ounces right to the brim. And I do use the press and seal plastic wrap. I don't know, probably going to get cancer or something, but it's easy and it's convenient and makes a nice little wrap on the food. So, yeah, losing some. Yeah, just a little bit. I'm just going to poke it down a little bit. That's really good. I just press it all right in there. Just put this back. Just a tiny little bit more is all I need. So I just kind of like to know how much I'm putting in there. So that's right at 16 ounces. Like we have friends and family. I don't sell this commercially at all. Not a commercial kitchen. But I have friends and family that like really like it. So I'll make a batch for them. Half of this is about 8 ounces. The entire thing is right at the 16 ounces. And then it kind of molds to this in the fridge. And then it's a nice little sliceable block. So
this is going to go in. This is going to go in the fridge. You wrap it up, go in the fridge, and tomorrow we essentially slice it up and put it on pizza.
Yeah, Saturday.
We're
doing that. So, and I do like to get all of the air out of there, and so by putting it into this container and pressing it right down to the lid. And just using that plastic wrap where you can get all of the air out, it keeps the air out of it. And it will last about a week or so in the fridge. I'll sometimes forget it's in there and then the chickens get another snack. But when we are in milk, I probably make this at least like once a week. So that'll seal. I can get all So I make this about once a week, and just the container itself, I can pull that out. That's going to be a nice sliceable block. Kind of press all of that out, but it will retain that shape when I put it in the fridge, and
nice.
It'll solidify in there. So kind of just keep pressing that out. But that's our farmer cheese, and then I'll slice it up on Saturday and put it on pizza.
Thanks for pizza.
Okay, so,
Ready?
Yep. And that the 1 gallon will make anywhere between 20 to 24 ounces of cheese. So depends on how long you let it sit, how much you kind of press out all the water and stuff, but anywhere between 20 to 24 ounces. So
Nice.
good amount of cheese. Yum.
Well, I hope that was helpful. And now that you know how basic farmer cheese is made, maybe you can try it yourself. It's really not that difficult. But it really has a unique flavor to it that things, some salads or sprinkled on pizza. It just has a unique taste to it that will make your pizza just really stand out. So thanks for visiting. Good luck with your cheese, and we'll see you next time on West Valley Rule. And I'm Ranger Dave. See you next time.